On July 26, 1968, an SR-71 was flying over northern Vietnam when the Reconnaissance Systems Officer, or RSO, noticed an R light pop up on his panel, which meant that the North Vietnamese surface-to-air missile site was searching for the Blackbird on its radar. But the RSO wasn't worried. This was a frequent occurrence. Shortly after, he noticed an M light illuminate, which meant that the Vietnamese radar was tracking them. That was uncommon, to say the least. But what happened next was arguably the longest minute of the crew's life. While the Blackbird was traveling at 83,000 feet at Mach 3 over Hanoi, the RSO noticed an L light pop up on his electronic countermeasures panel. The L meant that one or more missiles had been fired at the aircraft. The atmosphere inside the cabin became critical once the pilot asked the RSO when the L light was illuminated and whether it had been a minute. The time was important because the flight time of the SA-2 surface-to-air missiles was only 58 seconds. Upon landing, the cameras later confirmed that 2 missiles had been fired, and that was the first time ever that a missile had been launched toward a Blackbird. Over the years, more than 4,000 missiles were fired at Blackbirds, but none of them ever hit the target. But why it took 2 Buicks to start the SR-71? How the Blackbird could take pictures that were not blurry, even though it flew at 3 times the speed of sound? What design feature capped the airplane's maximum speed? And why it was not fuel, but liquid nitrogen that restricted the combat range of the SR-71 is not what you think. Even though not a single Blackbird was ever shot down by the enemy, about a third of the SR-71 fleet was destroyed during freak accidents. Some people even came to believe that flying the Blackbird was basically a continuous series of emergency procedures. But the reality was the opposite. She was quite a reliable machine. Everything worked flawlessly in unison, pretty much all of the time. It's just that when things went wrong at Mach 3, it produced some memorable moments for the pilots. If there was something wrong during the flight, pilots felt it right away since they knew every little flicker, rubble, or wriggle of the aircraft and what it meant. Nevertheless, if something went wrong, a master caution light would turn on. To know what was wrong, the pilot had to look at a panel that was between his legs. This panel had about 40 or so individual lights that pointed exactly to what was wrong. Here is one such story.